Welcome to the Keep the Faith podcast. I am your host, Tori. And you guys got to excuse the few minutes. We had a little technical difficulties, but nonetheless, we are here. And my special guest today is Miss LaToya Denise. And let me tell you something. I've been trying to get Toya on my podcast for about, 6 months?
Yeah, about 6 months.
So finally she's here, and today we're going to, with nothing is scripted, just like I always do. I never script anything. I never know what I'm going to ask my guests. We just like to go with the flow of the conversation. So because of who she is authentically, I chose to title this particular podcast Taking the Mask Off, Being Who You Are Authentically. And before we get into the podcast, Toya, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh my goodness. I am originally, my name is LaToya Hicks. I'm from small town of Timmonsville, not very big. I don't claim to be more than I am. Everybody has a story, but just not my story. I'm fun loving. I'm straight to the point. I'm honest. I'm very transparent. And hopefully somebody will get something from this podcast on this evening, because my stomach hurts bad. If you know me, then you know things like this. My stomach hurt. I get nervous, but I'm very transparent. So I just want this to be all mask off for real.
Yes. So let me tell you something. Every time I have been going to Strong Tower for, I want to say I started going to Strong Tower in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And from the time I walked into, because I remember Brittany invited me to church. And when she initially invited me to church, it took me probably 2 to 3 months before I actually went.
Okay.
But once I went to Strong Tower, as you can see, y'all can't get rid of me, right? But here's the thing. When I walked into church, every time you would sing, or if you just speaking your truth, I'm never the same. So whenever you speak or whenever you sing, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't remain the same. I always leave the building in tears. So I told you prior to us going live,
right,
that we're gonna be raw, uncut, be real, whatever you want to share. Because I mean, like you said, we all have a story to share. So whatever you feel comfortable sharing with anyone, what is actually on your heart. Because I remember, I want to say a couple months ago, you remember you did a live and it was called Breathing Through Your Pain.
Breathing Through the Pain.
And some people don't know a lot of things that you've been through. And like I said, you've been through so much.
Oh.
So if you want to touch on, and one thing I did not know until I was watching one of your lives was I did not know that you lost your mom.
Yeah. I lost my mom when I was 21.
And I didn't know that.
I was 21. I lost my mom to, my mom had lupus. She battled lupus, but my mom died at the age of 36. Wow. Massive heart attack. And for a long time, anxiety set in with me because I didn't know if I was going to live past 36. But I'm 38, thank God. But my mom died at 36 from lupus. So at 21, I dealt with that. But prior even to losing my mom, I had already became a teen mom. I was a teen mom twice already by the time I was 21.
Wow.
So I had my first child, my 11th grade year. I was 17. And then 16 months later, I had my daughter.
Wow.
But I still graduated high school.
Yeah.
I still did things that I was counted out of, but it still was hard. It was hard. And then losing my mom on top of that a couple years later. Yeah. And so, and as you were talking about that live with Breathing Through the Pain, it made me go back and look at some things and decisions that I made, decisions that other people made for me, or just plain life. A lot of times we get upset about things that we have to go through, but I had to go through them to make me who I am now.
Yes.
So if I had to start somewhere today, and it's crazy because I was talking to one of my sisters, she texted me this morning, and it was literally talking about still trying to heal, literally healing. And it's a lot of things that we have to heal from. But if we don't acknowledge them, we can't even start. And so out of everything in life that I've had to encounter and endure, I think the most painful thing that I'm still trying to heal from is the loss of my husband in 2019. And that is the truth.
Wow.
That is the
But
truth.
and looking at you, you would never know that.
Right.
Like when I see you, whenever I look at you, I see resilience. I see strength. And like I want to say back in March, you remember I was telling you about
Mm-hmm.
the service that you did when you sung that day and you were talking about the complex you have in regards to your skin complexion.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing you can tell, people can tell you because I deal with this, like your insecurities. People can tell you you're beautiful. Like with
Right.
my hair, I wear, everybody knows I like to wear my wigs, but they say, Tori, you have beautiful hair. I'm lazy like that. But if you don't believe it yourself,
Right.
then that's something that you have to deal with.
Absolutely.
And just like I was telling Jamel prior to us going live, like my wigs for me, I can't speak for everyone, but it's like that's like a mask for me.
Mm-hmm.
And like if someone tell me, well, Tori, take out the wig, I'm just like, no. It's like a way for me to mask my true
Yeah.
identity. Sometimes I don't want people, I'm one of those people that I don't like people to see me. But
Yeah.
one thing I love about you, and like that Sunday when you said that, I would have never thought that because
Listen.
you exude confidence. When you walk into a room,
Wow.
you demand attention.
And I've heard that so many times, but you have no idea how uncomfortable I am or I have been when I walked in a room and people have looked at me because I just want to blend in with everybody else. I want to blend in, but for whatever reason, I stand out, and so I had to be okay with that. But for a long time, I struggled with being dark. I struggle with the deepness of my voice, the rasp of my voice. I struggle with the one thing that I've always loved about myself, and I can say this because I can say so many things wrong, but the one thing that I've always loved has been my smile.
Wow.
And that's it. Like I love my smile,
Yeah.
but I don't. It's not all the time. So it's not like I walk in the room and I'm just smiling.
Yeah.
Sometimes they call it the resting bee face.
Yes. Yes.
But I'm not that person. But um, I've had to fight so long till I give off the persona of when you come, please come correct.
Right.
But at some point, you have to stop that. But if I had to choose, the one thing I love my smile, but there's so many other things that I fought with, and my complexion, and so I know what it's like to be the little black girl, or you're pretty for a black girl.
I hate that
You know what I'm
statement.
saying? Like, so I heard that a lot. So okay, if I, well, what is that? The only thing that makes me pretty? So you dealt with that for a long time. So now I got a defense mechanism. I got a defense mechanism about you saying that. Well, if that's why you think I'm pretty, then I'll show you something else type thing. So I had to
Right.
deal with that for a long time.
Right. Now you mentioned that one of the things that you're still healing from is the loss of your husband. And
Mm-hmm.
see, I didn't once when I started attending Strong Time, I didn't get a chance to get to know him. Now I just saw him as this gentle the times that I did see him,
Right.
he just appeared to me like a gentle giant.
Really, honestly. And that people that knew him,
Mhm.
Jeff, aka Rolling Stone, Mr. Youngblood,
Yes.
that's who he was. Like
Mhm.
he literally came into my life at a time when I didn't know that real men still existed. I always thought that men were out for something. Like you wanted something, so you're gonna give me something. I gotta give you something. So now it's a give and take type thing. So I went into the relationship with that mentality. Like he came in with doing what he did for me day one. He did until the time he left this earth.
So he
But
he treated you like the queen that you are.
absolutely, he set a standard that I refuse to compromise for anymore. And so that in even in the pain, I explain it like this. I told somebody before, imagine going to God, you praying to God that, God, this is the relationship I want. This is how I want it. This is how I want my children to be raised. This is where I want to live. All of these things. Everything came into play and then everything got snatched away.
Wow.
And so I had to literally say, okay, God, why would you give me all of that I prayed for and then take it away from me? And then in the same breath, I had to say, God, it ain't none of my business. You must have greater for me.
Right.
So even in my pain, I have to trust God still. I still have to witness to people and I still have to go through the process. And even though people see you moving on, making this decision, doing this or whatever, that doesn't mean that I'm still not healing it doesn't mean that I'm still not hurting.
Right.
You know, only my inner circle or my leadership or my prayer partners that know that there's days when they have to call me and they literally have to give me word and they literally have to get me out of the bed because I still have those days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then since you were talking about Jeff, how when a lot of people because I think you mentioned this in one of your lives, a lot of people judge you because they felt like after
Mm-hmm.
his death, after him leaving
Mm-hmm.
this earth, that you moved on too fast.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let's talk
please
about that,
let's
Tori. Let's talk about that because people always got something to say about something they have no idea about. The Bible clearly says that to once a person passed away, we'll say this. Let's go this. When a person passed away, it says to death do us part.
Mhm.
Death did us part.
Yes.
Death did us part. So if I had got married the next hour, there was no wrong, no fault. If before the coroner had picked him up and I had gotten married, there was no fault. Who could tell me that I was wrong? Nobody, because we lived out our vows. People want to put their spin on how you're supposed to do things when you didn't walk in my shoes. So you don't know what was going on. And even in that, even Jeff passed, I remarried. Even in that, that was all still a part of mourning. And people that whether they believe it or not, it's still a part of mourning. And I'm still having to heal from that because that didn't even last.
This is new to me.
That didn't even last,
Right.
and I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed about it. It was something that I had to go through, something
Mhm.
that I'm going through, and I'm okay with it because at the end of the day, when everybody else leaves, God is still there. He's still there.
So you would say that you're still in the process of course, still healing,
Absolutely.
and then you got to heal from now.
I done added something else on top.
Wow.
Yep.
How do you do it? Because like I said, this is new to me because I see you every Sunday at church,
Right.
and like you
And you're
like
going to see me.
and like I told you, I'm one of those people. I mind my business,
Right.
and I did not know.
Yeah. It's, some people are nosy and then some people are genuinely care about your well-being, but I don't owe an explanation to anybody.
You don't.
I don't owe an explanation to a soul. I truly trust God with everything concerning me. And so even in this, even in my anger, even in my pain, even in all of that, I still have to say, okay, Toya, you made this decision. Now, on top of everything else you got going on, you're going to have to deal with this process, the good, the bad, the ugly, indifferent. But I'm not going to move. If death couldn't move me out of serving God, divorce sure ain't going to move me.
Right.
People talking definitely won't move me.
Mm-hmm.
And for the people that know me, they know I ain't going nowhere. I'm not going anywhere.
No,
I'm not going anywhere. And I'll be the first to tell you that if he'll do it for me, he'll do it for anybody.
Right.
And I still desire to be a wife again.
And see, that's the thing. That's the beauty of it, because a lot of people, when they go through divorce or breakup, they become bitter, and you can allow yourself to be bitter because you have to. This is what I tell myself. I often tell myself that when I desire. See, I've never been married,
Okay.
but I have the desire to be married.
Mhm.
But I tell myself often that if a person is sent by God, then they will see my value.
Mhm.
But if they're not sent by God, they're not going to see my value. And I've met a lot of people, encountered a lot of, met a lot of people that
Right.
they didn't see my worth. So I say, I feel like they was not sent by God.
Right.
So I truly believe that if somebody is authentically who God sent, then they will see your value.
Absolutely.
They will not take advantage of you, and they will see your worth.
Absolutely.
And they will
Not
bring
only
out the
just-
best in you.
Not only see that or whatever, they'll be patient.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, there's no perfect person. So I'm flawed. Still, at the end of the day, I don't even know if people know my first marriage was not Jeff.
Really, Toya?
No,
I didn't know this either.
I married in 2009. I married when I was living in Texas, and I divorced due to domestic violence.
Wow.
I'm literally, when I say I'm talking now, I'm not talking about he pushed me, I pushed him type. I'm talking about locked in a room for 2.5 hours, beaten with a loaded gun.
What?
Yes. while my kids stood on the other side of the door and cried and screamed and yelled and could not get to me. And still to this day, I talk to this man because I have his child and all is forgiven. And I pray that God heals his soul from the very core.
I'm trying not to cry. I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, but people don't know that. They
Yeah.
talk about what they think they know, but they have no idea what I've survived. Because I don't walk around with a chip on my shoulder. Yeah, it happened. It was horrible. I don't play when people say I love you to death, or guys and girls fighting and this jealousy thing. I don't take that lightly. I don't take it lightly, because one time is one time too many. you know and so to experience that firsthand, I don't take it lightly if somebody lies about domestic violence, somebody lies about, because men and women can be violated. Men get beat up just as bad as women do, but women feel because we're women, he's a punk. No, you have no right putting your hands on him. He has no right putting, if it gets to that point, and there should not be. But yeah, I survived that.
And how long ago was that?
My daughter was born in 2010. 2012.
And how long did you stay in that relationship before you got out?
The physical abuse only happened that one time.
Okay.
One time, but it was emotional and mental. The daily reminders of, first of all, I'm away from home because I'm from South Carolina, but I'm living in Texas, so I'm away from home. Then the daily reminder of, well, you got kids, nobody's gonna want you. Is back to, oh, you the black girl, your body all right, but who gonna want you? Right. That type of thing. Things that intimate things that you share with somebody that they now are using against you.
Right.
So that made me stuck. And then when I did get the power to say, this is enough, I don't have to take this, then it became physical. But not just physical to where I'm a stranger, physical if I could kill you, I would.
So did he ever were there any signs? Did he ever make a comment like, how some men may say?
No.
So it was like totally off, it caught you off guard. Oh, that's the worst.
And I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
So he even caught me off guard because I'm a fighter.
Right. Oh my God.
But that's what, I just don't take lightly to that. And that's for men or women. If it has to get to that point, be done.
Right.
Be done and be okay with being done.
Right. And how long after that relationship, how long did you allow yourself to heal from that relationship?
I didn't. I went through a phase of partying and drinking and everything. I wanted to be free, but I didn't know how to be free. So I was free out of a marriage, but I was still in bondage in my mind.
And that's the oh my God, the bondage of your mind.
Yep.
That's the deepest kind of bondage.
Because everything that he told me that I wasn't, that I couldn't do, I had to show him I could.
Right.
Even though he wasn't even there to see it.
Wow. And then around that time when you were going through the process of the party and stuff, what type of people do you have around you? Because it's very important to have the right people around you, because there are some people that can be around you and instead of them trying to bring you out, they encourage you to do the things that you shouldn't be doing.
Honestly, at that time, I was with people who were literally probably in the same situation. We were all just trying to escape.
Wow.
It wasn't until I ran into a male friend, and I mean a male friend who literally said, listen, none of this you doing is attractive. Wow. What you have on is not attractive. How you look is not attractive. And I don't want to see you back out here like this.
Wow.
Those was his words to me.
Wow. And I hope you still talk to this person to this day.
I absolutely do.
Okay.
Absolutely
you need people like that in your life.
But those was his words, and he was just serious about it. Everything in his face said disgust.
Wow. Wow. And how long have you known him?
All my life.
Really?
All my life.
Let me ask you this. Now, this is totally off the script. It's totally off the subject. But that particular person, that particular male, that wouldn't be somebody you consider today. No. Because some of those friends be the best, in some cases, but no. He's not even okay. I just thought I would ask. Because I have some good male friends, but I'm the same way. I'm like, no, we can't cross that line. But that is wonderful that he would be open and honest with you like that.
And he did in the club.
Are you serious?
I was in the club. I was drunk, And literally, like those was his words to me.
Wow.
And my entire night was done.
Wow. And you need those type of people in
Yeah.
your life. Now, fast forward to that when you were getting out of when he told you that, how long did it take you to like because people can tell us something,
Hmm.
but we may not listen to it at that time.
Hmm.
Did you do an immediate change
No.
or it was like a over time?
It took a while. It took a long time because it was a point where I would get it together for a long time, and then I felt left out. You know how
Right.
you getting yourself together, and
Mm-hmm.
now you're not being invited, and now you see people doing things, and so now you want to be back in. So I felt left out because I've always felt left out.
Why would it, like I said, you stand out.
But to
So
me, I always felt left out. And it,
really?
yeah, I always felt left out. And I felt like if I won something or if I was a part of something, then I had to dummy myself down for the people around so they would be okay with the fact that I was chosen.
Right. But like I said, you stand out. Because like I said, when I first met you, I didn't even know you then. But you know how you see people from afar?
Hmm.
You've always been the person to stand out. I'm like, oh, who is that? And I even had somebody, who's that? I said, I haven't met her yet, but I think her name is Toya. Cause you
Yeah.
cause you stand out. You make I mean, it's like people take notice.
I'm fun. I think I'm fun.
Listen, that T, yes, that T.
I think I'm fun, but I think people got to get to know me,
Yeah,
and I like to clown. I like to have fun, but I also want to be around people that I can tell you the truth. You
yeah,
should be able to tell me the truth. I should be able to tell you the truth. Even if you get upset with me for the moment, it shouldn't stop you from texting me later on or calling
right,
me,
right.
But I like to have fun, but I always want the truth. I don't ever want to live a lie.
Right. And that's what I always noticed about you. I've always felt like you are being who you truly are unapologetically. That's why that Sunday when you said what you said about having a complex about you, I would not think that because you have your heels on,
Man.
your hair may be blonde one week, maybe black this week, maybe the natural cut one week, but you always walk with
Yeah.
confidence. So that Sunday I was like, what? Toya, what? No, I was totally caught off guard. Totally caught off
Wow.
guard because, like I said, you demand attention when you walk into a room.
Wow.
So the other thing I wanted to ask when once your male friend told you about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and it took that process, what there was that process of years, months,
It was years.
and it probably went back and forth, right?
It did go back and forth. And it's crazy because even in that I had kids, and you would think like you would want to do right for kids or whatever, but I was so in bondage and so hurt to if it wasn't for the people that I had around my kids that loved them and guarded them, they probably would have been bad off
Right,
because I
right,
just couldn't see. But then I had to, him saying that and then having to go back and sit and deal with everything. I had to realize I had daddy issues. My mama died. People that said that they would be there were no longer. I had been used, abused. I made decisions. It was all this stuff or whatever that we really don't want to put in a plate, but you have to. So I think when I was 30, I remember this night. Tori, I was so drunk. They carried me out of the club.
wow,
I woke up at my godmother's house, still in shock because I didn't even know who I was laying beside. That's how
wow,
drunk I was. And I woke up to my godmother laying beside me, thank God. And that was probably like the last night when I said, you know something, I can't do this no more.
right.
And I was 30,
That's what
8 years ago.
wow. And your children were, I'm trying to think it, my math is off. So your children were what age at that time?
Child, listen, just know they 20, 19, 15, and 10 now.
Okay. Okay.
You
So
know? So
yeah.
and I was still out here, trying to get all this stuff together, raise
Yeah.
kids.
And they're watching you because children are sponges. They watch everything that we do.
They are. My 10-year-old just told me maybe a couple months ago, she asked me something and I didn't have the answer. And she said, I thought mommies had the answer to everything. So
Wow.
I had to explain to her that we don't have all the answers. Now we
No.
make it do what we do.
Yeah. And we're
You know,
learning as we go
we learn it, but
along.
we don't have all the
We
answers.
don't. We
Yeah.
definitely don't. We definitely don't. Now, what advice would you give to someone that is out there that, like you said, when and I'm just going all over the place. I'm going
You're
different
good.
subject, but like when you lost Jeff
Mm-hmm.
and you made a decision to um get in another marriage,
Mm-hmm.
what advice would you give to someone? Because like a lot of times, like you said, it's a process.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the mourning process. And because I know for me, I isolate a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So if and I haven't been in a relationship. I don't even want to say how long it's been, but it's been a long time. But how was that process like? Since you was in that mourning process, was it something about him that just swept you off your feet, or like what would make you? Because like I said,
Um,
everybody's gonna judge you for whatever. But my thing is, people grieve differently.
Absolutely.
Everybody grieves differently. So it could have been something he did, something he said that make that,
It was the persona of what I thought it was.
oh, okay.
You know, and not to knock him. You know, he a good man, but he's not good for me.
Right.
You know, and the persona of what it is, of what it was. Um, because I don't know about every woman, but me and being who I am right now, I want somebody that can worship with me, somebody that can pray with me, those type of things. But I can tell you this: if you start a relationship wrong, it's gonna end wrong.
Absolutely. I know
If you
that for a
start it
fact.
wrong, you end wrong. You can try to make it look right all you want to, but if it starts wrong, it's gonna end wrong.
Absolutely.
And I accept everything that comes with it. I accept every part of this process. I do. But I will tell people, like, literally take your time and truly, truly hear from God. And God he don't always give you a yes, and it's not always now. So
Now this is the other questions. I'm like I said, I'm all over the place. When one thing I noticed too about you, like your hair could be black today, it might be blonde tomorrow. Is this part of because like I told y'all, me doing wigs is like a coping mechanism for me.
mhm.
I do it to hide from my true identity. And
Okay.
sometimes I just feel I like to, like you say, you didn't feel included.
Mhm.
Me, it's okay that I'm not invited.
Okay.
It's okay that I be by myself. I
Mhm.
don't need to be around a crowd of people. So when you change your looks, is that part of your healing process as
No.
well?
No.
No.
I've always been
Or
into
you just like to be different?
always.
Okay.
I've always been into hair, clothes, shoes. Always been my thing. Like, I'm gonna wear what I like, and I don't
Right.
care if nobody else don't like it. So next week, if you see me with lime green hair, I like it.
Right.
You don't have to like it. I like it, and I've always been like that. My mom gave me the option. I think I was going into my freshman year of high school to say, because I was the tomboy, I always wore the pants, the shorts, the sneakers, and because I was in sports and stuff. So she said, "Well, listen, you can do whatever to your hair. I just need you to be in at least a dress one week, one
You was
day
a
out the week.
tomboy?
Still, you don't really see me in dresses, do you? Because I don't know how to sit. But once I cut my hair that very first time,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't looked back since because it's hair.
Yeah.
And then I got into color and I started trying different things. And so it made me excited. Like, I love clothes, I love hair, I love color, I love shoes. That has nothing to do with what I'm going through. Don't ever, they better not ever judge me about what I'm going through based on my hair and that, because they'll be confused.
Well, listen, and the other thing I was going to ask as well, like going through the process of your upcoming, say the word, you count down the days of August.
Divorce.
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's just how bad, that's just how I mind my business. I didn't know.
It's okay.
I didn't know. Cause I mean, you always smile. I never see you down. If you're down or going through, like I said, that like I keep going back to that Sunday, I was not prepared for that. And it's like when I was in the booth that day, and when you were saying what you, I could relate so much.
Mhm.
And I was just in there, just balled up crying. And I was like, oh my God, I was just snot nosing. No, oh my God, that ugly cry. I was like, oh God, no. But I appreciate you being transparent, which I've
Absolutely.
always noticed about you, always being transparent. And like I said, I would always get nervous even before I became an official member. I would every time I would go to church and you were saying, I was like, oh God, I'm gonna cry today. I'm gonna cry today. And it's like when I said something to you one Sunday, and I ain't gonna lie, I was a little scared of you. You didn't you scared me because listen,
Why?
because I felt like Tori, why are you in my face? Why yeah, I was
No,
scared. I was
don't
scared. I
be.
was very
But you
scared.
know something? I honestly, and this is, I give credit to, first of all, Strong Tower, but I give credit to Prophetess Angela Goodson because when I met her, she told me, I don't see you where you are. I see you where you're going. But anytime I talked to her, she looked me in my face and she listened to everything I said. So usually when people come to me, I try to stop whatever I'm doing, look you in your face
Yeah.
to listen to, so I don't miss anything. Cause I don't want you to feel like you came to me and I dropped the ball or I didn't really listen. Or I say, well, how you doing? But I really don't care. No, I care. If I ask you how you doing, I care. And I want you to tell me. And if you got to scream and holler, I'm gonna stand there until you're done.
Right. Right.
You know, I'm gonna stand there because somebody did it for me. Somebody did it for me. They allowed me to get it out. Because had I not had those moments where I can get it out, somebody could have been visiting the graveyard or me in prison because my anger was just that bad. I was angry. I was angry at I was angry at my dad. I was angry at my mom for dying. I was angry at God. I was angry at old boyfriends. I was angry at families. I was angry at myself. You know, everything. I looked at everything like, why? What's the purpose? You know? But so I try to give people that same, that same respect that it was given to me, that lay it all out. I got you. I'm not going to drop you intentionally.
Right.
And if I do drop you, let me apologize and let me help put this thing back together. Because I
Right.
know what it feels like to be dropped by people who say they wouldn't drop you.
Right. People will tell you that they're gonna be there and they're
Man,
not there.
they use that love word so loosely.
Right.
They use it loosely. Like I don't understand it.
And one thing about me, I am learning that I expect me I expect Tori from other people, and I have to understand that people are not going to
Yep,
be like something that I would never do to a person. They will do it to me,
absolutely.
and I expect them not to. But it's like I see I'm the type, and I think that's one of my downfalls that I try to see the best in everyone.
No, not a downfall. That's just who you are. But you just have to be okay when they don't turn out that
Yeah,
way.
I
You
think that's what
know?
I struggle with
Yeah.
when it's not that when they not who
Yeah.
I expect them to be. I'm disappointed,
Yeah.
and I'll shut myself off and cut everybody off
Yeah, you
instead of just
can't tell you can't do that. You can't be cutting. You can't do that.
yeah. So, and the other thing that I love about you is that I feel as though that you bring out the best in people. I don't even know if you realize it. I don't even
Oh,
realize the impact because like especially with you and Sister Dolores and Tanya, Miss Tanya Vale, like sometimes like those days y'all may call me out by name and I may be having a bad day
oh wow.
that particular day. And when y'all call me out, I just, I perk up. I'm like, Tori, snap out of this.
Right.
You can't walk around
Right.
in darkness. You're too blessed. You got too
Yeah.
much going for yourself. But it's like sometimes it take the strength of you guys, to get me. Cause like I may appear sometimes that I have it together, but it may take something that you say. It may take a song or something that you sing or Miss Tanya, and that gets me through. Y'all
Right.
just don't know the impact. This is like, I don't even know if I even mentioned it, but I'm gonna say this on the live. This is the first time I've actually been a part of a church where I
Oh wow.
love going to. Like I feel like I belong
Belong.
and I don't mind working.
Wow.
And but what I'm struggling with though, to be honest, is the how you guys genuinely love.
because you're not used to it.
I'm not.
And I was the same way.
I'm not.
I'm not, because I just knew. I said, it's too many women. Somebody is bound to say something and it's going to
Right.
be a mess. I ain't going to be here long. Yeah, but to experience love like this, like, the love is so real that on my kids' information at the school, I don't have family members.
Right.
On my kids' information from school is somebody from the church.
Right.
No lie. Like,
Mhm.
literally, if you can call my kids right now, if something go wrong, one of the kids gonna say Miss Dee Dee, or they're gonna say prophetess, or
Yeah.
pastor, or they're gonna say somebody. These are the people that I have, because doesn't mean that I don't love my family, doesn't mean that I don't care for my family, but I also know who showed me who they were when I really needed it.
Mm, that's a word.
If I go back to when Jeff passed, I can remember every strong tower face that showed up. And I ain't talking about they waited till I got home. I'm talking about when I walk out the back of that hospital, who was standing there. Before, how about this? Before I even got to my house to see the ambulance there was a fleet of cars.
Wow.
A fleet of cars that met me at the hospital.
Wow. And a lot of times it's not about the blood. Loyalty doesn't
Absolutely.
mean you connected by blood. And a lot
Absolutely.
of times the ones that you're not connected to by blood will be there before your blood.
Absolutely. And
And
so
it's
that I take to heart my people from Strong Tower, and that's including you. Like, when I say there's nobody can come to me and say anything about you and don't get read right,
oh God.
and I mean it, because what you about to say, like, you gonna have to adjust what you about to say,
Right.
because I may not like it, and you gonna know that I don't like it,
Wow.
and I'm like that,
And
and
I'm
I'm
just
they may say, well, I'll call your pastor your problems. They know me. They know me. They already know what it's gonna be or whatever. And yeah,
right.
I may get in trouble, and I'm
Right.
okay with it.
Yeah.
But you gonna know what not to say and who not to say it to.
Right.
But I genuinely love my people. I don't
Right.
care if you don't speak to me today. I still love you, because
Right.
you're a part of this ministry. You're my sister. You're my brother. And if it's that serious, then guess what? Well, let me call someone. We need to talk about this.
Right. And I ask this question a lot. I think I've asked previous guests, but what does when you think of the word forgiveness, how deep and what exactly does forgiveness mean to you
Ooh.
with everything that you've been through?
Forgiveness, hard. I'm gonna say having to give up self, because a lot of times in my experience, I didn't want to forgive because I was still hurt. It hurt me just that much. To me, forgiving you felt like saying it was okay what you did.
Right.
But forgiveness is none of my business. Has
Right.
nothing to do with me.
Right.
But if I don't forgive, then I'm stuck and you moving. And I'm still stuck on what you said, what you did, what you didn't do. I think it was a saying one time that you have to forgive people who are never going to apologize. You have to forgive people who don't see that they've done anything wrong. And the old me would say no,
Right.
you know. But now I'm like, listen, I forgive you. I don't like it. It did hurt. I
Mm-hmm.
was bothered by it, but I can't stay here.
Right.
Because if I stay here, then I'm missing out on what's next.
Right. And that's what a lot of us do. We get stuck in the unforgiveness because I have been guilty of
Yeah.
that. And like I said, I'm in a good place now where I have got, I'm in, but there's some now I'm not gonna lie. I'm be transparent as well. There's some situation that may trigger me and it'll take me back
Mm-hmm.
to what you did.
Yeah.
But I have to realize I can't stay there.
Right.
Because I feel like you hurt me deep. And it feel like you just living your best life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have those moments.
Yeah.
And so I have to shake it off and tell myself, Tori, just get up.
Right.
And it's like, and another thing that I think I was telling you prior to going on air, I like to be there. I like to be that person that people can go to, they can talk to me. But I'm learning that I carry their stuff, and I haven't mastered how not to carry people's stuff,
Right.
because I have to monitor like different people that I'm around, because I
Mm-hmm.
can feel their spirit.
Yep.
And it's like, if it's not right, and it's like, if people share certain things with me, I'm carrying their stuff.
You be
And just,
drained.
yeah, and just like Minister Beth said yesterday, you're not God. You can't give yourself to everybody.
Everybody.
I had to learn, literally learn, and I say this often. I had to learn that I can't accept every phone.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I have my phone on do not disturb or airplane mode,
Yeah.
because you cannot answer every call. You cannot solve every problem,
Right.
and you cannot allow yourself to be a trash can. Allow people to
No.
dump,
And
dump, dump,
people
dump
are
on.
and then they'll try to pull the guilt trip on you.
Right,
Well, I listened to you, and when you was going through, you did.
right,
And maybe you were equipped at that time to do that. But
right,
right now, what I'm telling you is that I can't carry all you trying to give me,
right, right,
because what you're trying to give me may kill me.
right, right,
I don't want to get choked on what you're giving me. I can't do it right now. I'm sorry.
right.
I can point you in the direction to somebody that may be able to help you right now. I can't do it right now.
And I'm learning that. I'm telling you, this past couple of weeks has been rough,
Right.
literally rough for
Yeah.
me, because I just allowed people to, and I just been carrying people's stuff, and we cannot allow that. Now, how long? I'm gonna switch it to a lighter note. How long have you been doing hair? Because everybody, and matter of fact, shout out the business, the salon,
Salon
and how long
Internal
have you been
Reflections Beauty Studio, 322 Pearl Street, Darlington,
D Town?
D Town. I have actually been doing hair since I was 12, but I didn't get licensed until 2015.
So is doing hair like, because I was talking to someone else, doing hair is like your passion.
My passion. I love it. I love it, and I especially love it when people just sit in my chair and let me do what I do, because it's an art.
It
It's an
is.
art. Like, I can look at your face and I know what's gonna fit. I know what's gonna work. I can look at your confidence and say, okay, you can rock this, that type of thing. You're my chair, and I pray. My clients know when they sit in my chair, I pray. I let them know I pray. I pray that whatever that's on them, if it's not for me, God, don't let it stay. Whatever's on me, don't let it be imparted into them. Also, to bless my hands, I dedicate my gift that He's given me back to Him to give the people what they ask for.
Mm.
But I love it, and since I've been there, my clientele has increased. I got some new things I'm trying to work on, but I love it. I
I
love it.
love when you do the is it the locks, that when you were doing the video with Dominique and the,
The extension, lock extensions.
I love to see you do that. And it's like the way you do it, you make it look easy, but yet it's so complicated.
I bless the Lord for it. I really do, because it's a technique. It's a technique, but I'm always a student. I'm always gonna be a student in everything I'm doing. I never get so big that I can never learn.
Okay.
So I'm always learning. I'm always looking for classes, giving classes. Um, Even with the ladies that I work with, like, I love them, because we got two younger girls, and then we got me and Constance, who, been in the thing for a while. So we all learn from each other, teach each other. But I love what I do, and I'm gonna always be a student. I'm gonna always learn something new. I'll never get to the point to where I know everything.
And that's what I love about you. I think you did a post and you said you can learn from other people. See, a lot of times when you're doing hair and there's so many different salons, some find themselves being competitive when it shouldn't be that way, because there's room for everybody to
Right.
shine, and then you can learn different techniques from different people.
I let me tell you something. I'm not about to compete with anybody. If there's something that I can't do, I'm gonna ask you. If you're not willing to share, if you feel that you got to hide, I don't know what else to tell you. But I'll go and I'll figure it out. I'll take a class or whatever. But I'm not gonna compete. What's for me is for me. Who God sends to my chair is gonna come to my chair. What I'm supposed to make, I'm gonna make. Wherever I'm supposed to be, I'm gonna be. The competition thing, I don't see the purpose in it.
Right.
Like you said, every client chooses where they want to go. It's their money.
Right.
They go where they want to go. You have some faithful clients. Then you have these people that jump from chair to chair. It's always going to be. But I'm
Right.
not gonna get so caught up on, oh, was she doing this? I don't want to tell her what glue I use,
Right.
what phone wrap I use.
Right.
It don't matter.
Right.
I'm still, what I do is what I do.
Right. And the other thing, because we're gonna close up, because I know your stomach is just,
Ugh.
see, once you start talking, it's easy, right? You got that flow
Yeah,
going,
yeah,
right?
yeah. You know how I do.
But before we wrap up, I want to say anything that you want to, any words of wisdom you want to impart, like whatever is on your heart, anything that you feel that that you need to share with the world that somebody may need to hear. Because like I said, God always give you a word in your belly. That's why your stomach starts to ache. That's why your stomach, that's why you getting nervous. That's why you like Tori sitting on the, I said, not Toya, I know good well you're not sitting on this floor. He's like, I'm nervous. But
Sitting
see,
on the floor.
God always give you a word.
Yeah.
So what word has God placed in your belly? Because I know he gave you something. I know he gave you something.
It's still gonna be healed.
Yeah.
We have got to heal from some things that we really have never told anybody. And God knows all things. He knows everything, and even if we don't speak it, he knows.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to be willing to heal in everything. And so don't be afraid to say I'm hurt, I'm disappointed, I need help. Don't battle things alone. Please don't isolate. Because when you isolate, it gives the devil time to play. He'll play with the simplest of things when you know that it's not what it is. You know, it causes anxiety. And I'm talking about things that happened to me within less than 24 hours. Less than 24 hours, I was battling with these things. But just take the time to heal and truly check on people. Because even though we're smiling and we look confident, sometimes we're broken.
That's me. You talking directly to me, because everything that you just said is everything that I experienced just this week.
Wow.
Just like I told you prior to us going on air, that's what I love about Strong Tower. The love is so real. And like all I can remember yesterday, I'm trying to get in my car. Trying to get in my car. Like, let me get in my car from around people so I could just be to myself. Miss Dee, Tori, hey Tori. I'm like, hey, Miss you all right? You good? She's like, you're not good. As soon as she said that, I just bust out crying. Like, you just never know. People know. People know. And I just really appreciate y'all. Y'all have no idea. Like, when I'm not able to make it to church for whatever reason, I feel like I missed something.
Yeah,
because
me too.
Because when you watch it online, it ain't the same.
And I said that, like, I can miss a Sunday, and I feel like I missed 3 Sundays.
Right.
It does, but I ain't going nowhere. Listen, I know I still God has a lot of work to do in me. I'm not perfect, but I'm perfectly flawed, but I'm willing. I'm gonna always be willing.
And that's what I love about you. You constantly learning. And Jamel, did you want to say something? You didn't want to say nothing about what's coming up? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Toya, for coming out. You know what? I might put you on the spot like I did Sean last week. You know you got a voice, right? Did God give you a song?
No.
You know what? She not gonna sing a little something to you. I know God gave you something. Nothing.
I ain't got nothing. I ain't even got nothing.
Well, I'm gonna share something as well. Let me see if my phone will work. Y'all know that I do poetry. So since you won't sing, I'm gonna see if I can pull up this poem and I'm gonna share it, because like you were saying the entire time, it's very important that you have the right people around you. And for me, I observe a lot. I pay attention to what people say, whether it is whether it comes out of their mouth. I pay attention to your actions, and I pay attention what you don't say, because sometimes your facial expression will say what you want to say. So I title, if I can pull it up, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. And if I can't pull it up, that's probably a reason why.
Look at them on live talking about beauty and your brokenness.
Let me see. Listen, somebody suggested that.
Yeah, that what they suggested.
Okay, go ahead.
Who?
While I'm pulling it up, you can go ahead and sing part of it. Go ahead, Toya. While I'm pulling up my form, go ahead and sing "Beauty." That is a beautiful
Tori, don't
song.
follow with them.
No, that's a beautiful song, and
It
you say,
is. It
yeah.
really is.
So you're not gonna sing, really, Toya?
You should see your face.
You're not gonna sing just a note?
You hear me? Do you hear me?
Okay, Toya. Let me see if I can pull this. Let me see if I can pull it. And I think what happened is I logged out and I got to log back in because I want to share. I hope I can pull it up. And the title, because I did this past Saturday, because I do spoken word,
Okay.
and I did this particular piece the other night, and I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. So y'all bear with me. We live. I tell you, live.
Live, Tori done got me on this show after 6 months.
Yeah, after 6 months, praise the Lord. After 6 months, it only took 6 months, and I'm still trying to get Miss Quita on as well, and I'm actually going to pull on Miss Tanya and some other people.
Good.
So, because like I said, you all have a very positive word to share. So let me see. It's telling me my password don't work. So give me just a second. It must not be meant for me to share because it's not taking my password. I'll share that at a later date. But thank you, Toya, so much for
Welcome. Welcome.
coming on the show. And of course, I'm going to call on you again.
Okay.
Just it's not going to take another 6 months.
It won't. It won't take another 6 months this time.
Now, the next time, I want you to bring your tea and whatever's necessary for it, so that you can, have your throat cleared out so you can sing.
Okay. You supposed to be going home.
Yeah, you definitely that because she has a beautiful voice. That's why I wanted her to sing. You have a beautiful voice, but I'll let
sound a
you.
mess right now, y'all. I promise you it would.
Well, I'll let you. Let me see. Give me just a second. Bear with me one moment. It said it sent me a code, but I don't see the code, so I don't know. But you got off. I'm gonna let you slide this time.
Well, thank you so much.
I'm gonna let you slide this time, and then of course, like I said, you let me see. Sent me something, and it gave you a number. Let me see, y'all. Now, if this doesn't work, then that means I'm not supposed to share, but I will eventually share it. I want you guys to I think what happened was I logged out earlier today, and it's not allowing me to go back in. So, well, you were saying something. I did not understand what you were saying. So let me see something. Okay. All right, Tori. So you off the hook. So
Okay.
I'm gonna share, since you won't sing, I'm gonna share one of my poems. And I did this the other night. I went to an open mic the other night. So shout out to Miss Tanya the poet for inviting me. The title of this particular piece, and I've done it on several occasions, but there's some may be listening that may not have heard this. Like I said, I'm very I pay attention to what people say, their mannerisms, and things that they don't say. So the title of this particular poem is called Words. Words. Let me tell you about words. Words are spirits wrapped in sound. Words can change a mood from happy to sad, from joy to pain. Words can destroy, especially with the tone and the way they are spoken. Words can lift you up or bring you down. Words can save your soul and bring you closer to the best version of yourself. Words can save you. Wait a minute, I lost my place, y'all. Best version of yourself. Words can tear people apart or bring them closer together. Words can encourage, uplift, and inspire. Words can make you feel like you are not worthy, especially ugly and hateful words spoken by someone you love. Words can have you feeling invincible one minute and then have you feeling invisible the next. Words, there are so many words that can be said. Then there are words that need to be left unsaid. Words are necessary to get your point across. Words will let you know when it's time to give up or let go of a person or a situation. Words will also let you know when you've had enough and when it's time to move on. Words can sometimes be unpredictable. Words can sometimes be said with or without a filter. Words can hurt a person, whether it be intentional or unintentional. Words can be spoken through silence. You will be surprised at what you hear from what a person does not say if only you pay attention. Words can change your entire perspective on life. Words can be damaging as well as healing. Words can be powerful or just plain useless. Words. What words are you speaking? Are you choosing your words carefully or are you using words recklessly? Words can speak life or death. I choose my words carefully. I'm very careful of what I say and how I say it. I use words that will push you into your greatness and your destiny. I will speak life into you because I want to see you fulfill your God given purpose. I believe in using words to manifest what you want in life before you actually have it. You see, I want to see everybody win, even if they don't want the same for me. Remember to use the right words in the right place at the right time for the right person. Words are everything. It's up to you to choose what words to use. And I'm getting emotional because this past week, um, there were some things
Excuse
that
me.
was spoken over me that kind of like mentally, and I'm just being transparent. This past week, there were some words that were spoken over to me that kind of destroyed me this week. So that's why I had to take a moment to just breathe.
There was something that you said that I am who I am today because God used my mistakes. He worked them for my good like no one else ever could. I am who I am today because God used my mistakes. He worked them for my good like no one else ever could. You are necessary. You're necessary, Tori. Like literally, literally. You said that earlier in the words, and that's what came to me, y'all. I told you my voice was horrible today, but necessary. Like you're necessary. And somebody told me that this morning that I was necessary.
And you are.
So we are necessary, regardless of what somebody else feels
Yeah,
or what somebody else speak, whatever their words are. We're necessary, and we're
absolutely.
necessary because God said we're necessary.
Absolutely. And on that note, that's a beautiful way to end. Ooh, yes, we are necessary. And you out there that's listening, know that you are necessary. You are worthy. And I tell people all the time that you may bend, but you won't break. And no matter what you're experiencing in this thing called life, never lose your faith. Your faith may be shaken a little bit, but never lose the faith because God got you. You just got to believe that He got you and trust Him with everything in your being. And if you missed the beginning of this podcast, definitely go back and watch the replay. If you would like to be a guest on the Keep the Faith podcast, you can contact me at 843-920-8124. That number again is 843-920-8124. Or you can email me at faithisnecessary.com. Thank you once again, Toya, for coming on.
Welcome.
Like I said, when I pull on you again, don't let it be another 6 months. But I look forward to whatever God places on your heart for you to share with the world.
Will do.
And those of you, like I said, make sure you share the podcast. If you missed the beginning, go back and watch the replay. Thank you all for watching. And always remember to keep the faith. We're out. You guys take care and be blessed.